They called carrot. Cut. See the catch? Brilliant catch. Carrot. Right, got another quick and easy, say quick and easy, not that quick, but it is easy. Very little hard work, it takes a little while in the oven, but I'm going to make sausage casserole. But I've got some of these left over, these little bad boys, pigs in blanket. Now, I do realise, by the time this goes out, it's probably going to be early to mid-January. The chances are you're not going to be able to get hold of these anymore, but you might have some in the freezer. You might have bought up a load on the cheap because Sainsbury's or Tesco's or wherever was flogging them off cheap because they bought in too many and they were trying to shift them on. Then it's obviously Christmas. If you can't get hold of them, I'm just using them up. By all means, I'm going to add some normal sausages anyway because I'm feeding 4 to 6 people. So I'm adding some normal sausages. Just add normal sausages and we can add extra bacon later when we add more bacon because bacon is always good. First things first, casserole dish on the heat. If you haven't got a casserole dish, like one of these cast iron jobbies that you can put on the hob and then go into the oven, you're going to have to do this first bit in a frying pan. No big deal. Bit of a pain, but it is what it is. So, first things first, you're going to go brown off these sausages. Try not to splash yourself with a load of fat. So we're not looking to cook them. We just want to get a decent browning on them. I'm going to go in with all of these bad boys. Now, unfortunately, your pigs in blankets are probably going to unravel. You're not going to end up with nicely wrapped pigs in blankets in the end. If you wanted that, you can make the sausage casserole, cook them separately, then put them in at the end. But that's a lot of ball ache, and I can't be bothered with it. So I'm just going to brown these off. While they're browning, we are going to slice up 2 large carrots. I'm just using carrot because carrot's what I've got. But anything you'd put in a stew or a casserole would work. Parsnips, you might have left over from Christmas as well. Swede, turnip, a couple of nice waxy potatoes that do well. Just turn them over, get them browned on all sides. Like I said, you're not trying to cook them through. You just want a decent sear, add some flavour. Right. Alright, that's browning. I've got two decent sized, medium-ish, what are these? These are brown onions, aren't they? Brown onions. So we're just going to chunk them up. Oh, if you haven't already, you should probably preheat your oven to, say, 180. Doesn't got to be pretty or particularly tidy. Although I am making a specifically bad pig's ear of this. And a couple of garlic cloves, 2 decent size cloves of garlic. A few other bits and pieces. I'm going to add in a tin of kidney beans, and a tin of chopped tomatoes. I've got some diced smoked pancetta. You want to use smoky bacon, you want to use some bacon lardons, fill your boots. Some thyme from my window box, some bay leaves and some rosemary. Stock pot, stock cube, gelatinous thing. It's a beef, use chicken, whatever. Worcestershire sauce, and I am going to make some dumplings. So I've got some dumpling mix as well. So once the sausages are relatively browned, I'll pull them out. Like I said, if they've lost their blanket, it's no biggie. You might as well leave the bacon in there because you're going to chuck in there smoked pancetta and our onions. If your onions stayed in some bigger chunks, you want to break it down a bit and just give it all that scrape up. Now, if I had some wine to hand. I'd be tempted to put a glug of red or white in there. I'd probably go white, just to help deglaze that pan, but I haven't. So I'm going to go in with a splash of, not too much, say a mouthful or two, maybe 3, depending on how big your mouth is. IPA, bitter or do, any sort of beer that you cook with, just to get everything up off the bottom of that pan, give it a good deglaze. Right, so now it's starting to heat back up again. We're going to go in with a healthy tablespoon or so of tomato puree, a tablespoon maybe of Worcestershire sauce, nor the comically large teaspoons, 2 heaped teaspoons, which is all I've got, smoked paprika, and a pinch of chilli flakes. Not too much, completely up to you if you do want to make it spicy, but there's a fair bit of heat there already. A few decent cracks of black pepper, and go in with our carrots and our garlic. You can find a garlic crusher. Right, get that all a good stir up, get everything mingling. Tomato paste, puree over everything. Smoked paprika in amongst everything. So that smoked paprika is going to give it like a nice smoky barbecue-y flavour. The Liam Perrins is just pretty much more of the same. Right, tin of tomatoes. And 1 stock pot. You could use stock cubes, you can use actual stock if you're fancy like that. And also, in about another 400 ml of water. Got a small handful of thyme. This is fresh, so it hasn't got the woody stems. If you'd bought this in a packet from Sainsbury's, it'd have the woody stems, so you'd want to just take the leaves off the stems, but I haven't got to worry about that because I've got thyme on my windowsill. If you buy the pots, you know you can buy the potted plants of herbs. If you buy them, you're okay as well because they're fresh, they're growing, still alive. If you buy the thyme like this in a packet that's been trimmed, it's got the really woody stems, so you want to get rid of them. I'm also going to add the leaves of 2 sprigs of rosemary. Rosemary's too woody regardless, so you're going to want to take the leaves off, or chuck the whole thing in there and fish them out afterwards, whichever you can be bothered to do. And the magic ingredient that doesn't really taste of anything except it tastes of everything. 1, 2, 3 bay leaves. That's a good stir. Now, once again, I feel like I'm saying this all the time at the moment, but all of the things I've put in there, especially the bacon, is really quite salty, and sausages are really salty as well, which we're going to add back now. So I've not added any salt. I'm going to wait to the end, give it a taste, which I also, when editing videos, have noticed I've forgotten to do, or I've probably done, but just not caught it on tape. But I'll try and remember this time. Now, I'll quickly bring that back to a boil. Put a lid on it. When that comes to a boil, I'm going to whack it in the oven and forget about it for about 45 minutes. I'm going to make up the dumplings. If you're using dumplings, if you know how to make your own dumplings, more power to you. I always use packet mix because buying your own suet and all that sort of stuff's a pain in the arse. Just follow the mix instructions, and I put mine on top so that they go crispy. But if you like to put yours on the bottom so they stay suety and fluffy, that's up to you. But we'll come back to that in a minute. I'm going to have a bit of a tidy up, and I've just realised West Ham's kicked off. So I'm going to go quickly tidy up, catch the rest of the first half West Ham game, and I'll be back in a little bit. Alright. Right, so the game kicked off at 6, not 5. So, what are you going to do? Well, it will kick off at 6. It's not quite at 6, as you can tell. Right, that's been in the oven for Near enough 45 minutes. After that 45 minutes, take the lid off. Stirry, stirry. Give it a bit of a stir. Right, now it looks quite runny, and it is, but I'm going to turn the oven down a bit to 160 odd. Right, so we're going to pop in there 1 drained tin of kidney beans. You can leave the beans out if you're not a big fan of beans. You chickpeas. You can use tin of baked beans would work. Works quite well actually, if you ask me. Right, get that stirring. Now they're going to soak up a fair bit of that moisture while they cook. But we're also... I'm going to add in some dumplings. Now these swell right up as well, soak up a load of moisture. I like them on top, so you end up with a sort of crusty side to them. But if you want to dump them in there and leave them sooty, that's completely up to you. Now we put it back in the oven for 20 minutes to half an hour with the lid off, which is also going to help it reduce down and thicken up a bit. So, ooh, don't know what that was. Right, see you in 20 minutes to half an hour or so. Welcome back. 0-0, and it's almost half time. Now I've said that, I bet I'm about to miss a goal. But anyway, right. Oh god. So, right in there. Can't remember if I recorded me putting the dumplings in. If I didn't, so I made dumplings and I put the dumplings in. Oh yeah, because I said about taking the lid off. Ignore me. So, dumplings are all crisped up a bit. You can see it's all reduced down and it's got a bit thicker. But what we need to do is, because I made a point of it earlier, a bit of stir. You want to give it a little taste for seasoning. Nah, that is banging. Right, so what I'll do, spoon it into some bowls and bosh. And fish out the vegetation if you want. The bay leaves more than anything, but I don't think it's too much of a requirement. But voila, you might want to let the steam die down a bit before you serve it, but because it's boiling hot at the moment. There you go, yet another lovely winter warmer. Like I said, I put carrots and onions in there, but you can chuck anything you'd put in a soup or a casserole or a stew. Potatoes, turnips, parsnips, swede, celeriac could probably work. Anything. Beans would work, all different types of beans. Lentils would probably work. You can serve it with some mash, with some rice, with some nice chunky crusty bread would work. On its own is how I'm going to eat it, although I've got dumplings, so that pretty much counts. But yeah, nice way to use up some leftover, what are they called? Pigs in blankets as well. But if you haven't got the pigs in blankets, like I said, use the normal sausages, add in a bit of extra bacon. When I added in that smoky pancetta, I had twice as much pancetta or smoky bacon. Bit of luck, you've all had a nice Christmas and a nice New Year. It's probably mid-January by now, but I recorded this in between Christmas and New Year's, which is why I had a load of sausage and pigs in blankets left over. If I'd have had the idea to make this beforehand, I would have recorded this before Christmas so I could release this in between Christmas and New Year and it'd be on trend. But what are you going to do? Say la vie. Yeah, so enjoy. Robert's your mother's brother. Bosh. Right, so yeah, nice and easy. Chop some stuff up, whack some stuff in the pan, stick it in the oven. Robert's your mother's brother. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Yeah, bit of luck. rest of this year will be better than the shucker we've already had. But yeah, see you when I see us. Adios.